Going on YouTube? This is Fish Freak Phil. Want you guys give you an update. 6 weeks, no water changes. Man, I did have some trouble with my protein skimmer. I was running lean, and my auto top off kept going. What happened was there's so much Cheeto back here. This whole compartment was filled, and I guess that was not allowing the water to flow freely through the chambers as quickly as designed to, and it was kind of backing things up. So I couldn't get this level, as you see. You want the bubbles up in here. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it to the proper level. So I actually ran part of the week, most of the week, without the protein skimmer, because every time I turned it on, it's running lean. Till I cleaned that out last night, and I resolved the issue. Another thing I noticed last week, and I had some biopsis right near the base of those daisy polyps there, and somewhere around there, in there. I didn't do anything to. I know there's things you can dose. Forgot the name of the stuff you can get from, like, I think they use it for dogs, for deworming dogs or something like that. But I didn't use that. I was planning on it, but honestly, I was so busy last week getting that set up. That's my Cobalt 40, but that's another video all in itself. But I didn't have an opportunity to go out and get the stuff I needed. But that being said, with all the Cheeto in the back, just sucking up nutrients, basically outcompeted that nuisance algae. So now that I've cut it in half and I got my protein skimmer back up and running, I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the next coming week or not. I still haven't done a water change. I think I might change that up. I keep saying I'm going to, but sometimes you just don't want to mess with things when they're running. Sometimes you can do too much. So, I mean, a water change can't hurt, but, like I said, sometimes if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's exactly what it is. So, I'm letting things run as they are. Corals are doing wonderful. You can see that one rainbow. God, I always forget the name of it. Back there, thing is looking wonderful. At one point, it looked like a hand. My daughters were calling it the hand, but that sucker is definitely branching out like crazy. Everything is looking great. Oh, my frog spawn. Remember, I had talked about it bleaching out, and it's got its color all back. Look at that. Just let nature do its thing. I mean, I've heard about, I've never seen it, but I've read and watched videos in regards to corals losing or releasing their zooxanthellae. Apologies if I know I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, but you know what I'm talking about. And that's what I thought happened with this frog spawn, because it was like really bleached out, very ghostly for months. And the last few months, I noticed it, like 2-3 months, I noticed it kind of slowly coming back. And now it's fully back. So I'm just happy to see everything, see it back, and we'll see what happens in the next couple weeks or so. I'm not doing water changes, so I do dose for the corals, and I've shown you that stuff in the previous video. You may want to go back and watch those if you haven't seen them. I check my parameters. Obviously, now I'm not checking every week, every day, every few days. I check maybe once a week. Honestly, I'm not seeing anything that makes me go like, oh, some changes you can't see until it's too late. But like my nutrient export is really good, so I'm not worried. I'm not to the point where like I feel like I need to be checking on a regular basis every few days. if you have the opportunity or the time to do it, by all means do it. You know, do what's good for you, what you feel it necessary. I don't feel like it's necessary. I do it about, I mean, once a week. You know, um, you know, phosphates are always my phosphates always come up as 0. I mean, I know that there's phosphates in the water column because you can see the algae, but it's nothing. It's not, you know, look at my rocks. Like, there's no algae growing on them. Like, you know, you don't really, you see the coralline, stuff like that. No nuisance algae, excuse me, growing on them. So, you know, even my rocks got a little bit of something, but like, that's nothing I can even really, I mean, you can barely see that. It's not, you know, I get it on the glass, obviously. I'm not concerned. I've yet to be concerned, or, you know, I'm just pushing the limits and seeing what can happen. Like, I'm not purposely doing anything that's going to push the tank over, you know, over its capacity in terms of being able to deal with the nutrients. Although, I mean, a lot of people are looking at my tanks like, man, you're stocking heavy. Yeah, I'm stocking heavy, but yet, you know, I've gone 6 weeks without water change. I'm not saying that's a big, man, that's, you know, that ends that argument. But, you know, if I'm able to extract all the excess nutrients, then, you know, you can do that. I've done it in my freshwater tanks. You know, I've always filtered heavily in my planted tanks, so I got away with having you know, heavy fish loads and stuff like that. Not, you know, you may not agree with me, but it worked for me. It's working for me now. You know, to each their own. Like I said, you won't know until you try things. You know, you do your research on things and find what the best balance for yourself and what's going to work with your habits and your lifestyle, and you run with it. You know, obviously, the bigger tank you have, the easier it is to deal with in terms of changes. You know, they happen a little bit slower. This is a nano, and I love this tank. You know, but I'm treating it as if it was a bigger tank. Same thing in terms of, same philosophy in terms of nutrient export, and in terms of water changes and things like that. You know, you don't need, you know, basically find what works for you and run with it. Yeah, this is 6 weeks and no water changes. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like week 7, week 8. I don't know. I not planning on doing a water change. Any time I think I'm going to do a water change, I end up looking at a tank or making a minor tweak in the back sump area. Like, I might cut out some Chaeto or pull out some of the filter floss. That's another thing. If you're running filter floss back here, try not to pack it in here, because it will catch material like it's supposed to, and that will definitely clog things up a bit for you in terms of getting to your return pump. If you have an auto top off, it will be going off like crazy, trying to adjust for the level. I've reduced how much I have back there, and that's made a difference. And honestly, outside of cleaning that or checking on that once a week or bi-weekly, I really don't do too much in terms of maintenance, in terms of doing water changes and things like that. You know, I take out the sponge in the back, and, you know, I'll rinse that out, get all the dirt out of that. But I mean, really, I don't do anything in the display in terms of you know, getting into rocks and stuff like that. I mean, will that come back to bite me? I don't know. We'll see. You know, having a sorry snail in there, kind of doing its work. You know, I'm thinking about getting a few more. Not to say that that's the end all be all, but I mean, look, it's working for me. You know, so this is Fish Freak Phil. It's giving you a week 6 no water change update on my Fluval 13.5. Do your research, try things out, and see what happens. Later, y'all.